In the 1950s, Khrushchev predicted, "We will bury you." But in the West today, we see a free world that has achieved a level of prosperity and well-being unprecedented in all human history. In the communist world, we see failure, technological backwardness, declining standards of health, even one of the most basic needs, too little food. Even today, the Soviet Union still cannot feed itself. After these 4 decades, then, there stands before the entire world one great and unspeakable conclusion. Freedom leads to prosperity. Freedom replaces the ancient heartache among the nations with commodity and peace. Freedom is the victor. And now the Soviets themselves may in a limited way be coming to understand the importance of freedom. We hear much from Moscow about a new policy to reform and openness. Some political prisoners have been released. Certain foreign news broadcasters are no longer being jammed. Some economic enterprises have been permitted to operate with greater freedom from state control. Are these the bargains of profound changes in the Soviet state? Or are they token gestures intended to raise false hopes in the West, or to strain the Soviet system without changing it? We welcome change and openness, for we believe that the freedom and security go together, that the advance of human liberty can only strengthen the cause of world peace. There is one sign that the Soviets can make that would be unmistakable, that would advance dramatically the cause of freedom and peace. General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberation, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. I understand the fear of war and the pain of division that afflicts this continent, and I pledge to you my country's efforts to help overcome these burdens. To be sure, we in the West must resist Soviet expansion, so we must maintain defense's unassailable strengths. Yet we seek peace, so we must strive to reduce arms on both sides. Beginning 10 years ago, the Soviets challenged the Western alliance with a great new threat. Hundreds of new and more deadly SS-20 nuclear missiles, capable of striking every capital in Europe. The Western alliance responded by committing itself to a counter-deployment unless the Soviet agreed to negotiate a better solution, namely the elimination of such weapons on both sides. For many months, the Soviets refused to bargain. As the alliance, in turn, prepared to go forward with its counter-deployment, there will be difficult days. Days of protest like those during my 1987 visit to the city, and the Soviet later walked away from the table. But through it all, the alliance held firm, and in invite of those who protested then, I invite those who protest today to mark this fact. And because we remain strong, today we have within the possibility not merely of limiting the growth of arms, but of eliminating, for the first time, an entire class of nuclear weapons from the face of the earth.